Peace. What up, people? Party people. Good to have y'all back, man. You already know. Welcome to episode 27 of the BMF Reverberation podcast on the Konfidence and Klutch network. New media, energy up, health is wealth, man. Y'all know where we at. Get into it. What we know so far. Man, you know what y'all think. Out the grip. Good episode, right? All right, let's do it. Claude tells his crew Meech is the only out-of-towner that will work with us and not against us. Remy comes in and kills Claude over trying to turn his crew to be with Meech and them. T has a recipe to double the work without cutting it, stalling out Henry. Henry shoots Hoop. Jen lets Brian know whatever we get on this wire is not admissible because they're not cops anymore. Jen bugs Henry's cane. Remember T's lady driver? She told him he has to fight back when the other car service slashed his tires. Something to think about further in the episode. Charles get a gig to travel with a band. Lucille is in the hotel with Reese, who said he'll wait for her. Charles asked Lucille to go on tour with him with the band, and she says she thinks she's in love with Maurice. T and Meech gets their cars fitted with stash spots down in Miami, and the Red Dogs confiscates them in Atlanta. All right, y'all. Current episode, prime time. Synopsis. Meech and Terry return to Atlanta. The brothers work together to retrieve everything they have worked for and plan to expand to St. Louis and other cities with Miami as a hub. Meech and Terry are in for one of their greatest adventures. Miami is a hub. That's wrong. Huh. It is what it is. That's what they said. Miami's where the shit coming in. They got to go get it. But I thought Atlanta was the hub. But anyway, we'll get into it. Y'all ready? Y'all just jump into it. Let's do it. We see the episode beginning with Young T and Meech bring some crack rock home. They talking about Pat putting them on and why we got to have to work here. That's what T was trying to say. And Meech was telling man, we got to hustle. I'm tired of putting cardboard in my shoes. I'm tired of using other people's electricity, man. I ain't with that shit no more. And then it goes to fast forward into present day. We see Remy and his crew going to the impound in Atlanta, giving some cash some money, and they steal Meech's vehicles and shit. Meech and Duffy and everybody, they see Remy taking the vehicles, and they like, Meech like, this shit gotta end, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So they pull over and Duffy like, yo, I got a plan. We should go after Claude's man, Sharp, who we know Claude was trying to get them to flip. And Tina was like, yeah, we should go after him. Like, everybody be at JR's and shit, parking lot pimping on Sunday. Let's go. Because ain't no clubs open on Sunday down there. You know what I mean? So Sterling calls T at the same time while they there and let them know Hoop got hit. So they know Henry shot Hoop and all this shit. And Meech told T, you going to have to put Henry down. Yes, sir. So we see T making it back to Atlanta. Hoop is alive. Thanks, y'all, for not killing my man. Man, thank you for not killing my man. And T said, I got to pull the trigger this time. Let motherfuckers know I ain't playing. And we get into the intro of the show. We see Jen, after the opening credits, go to see Amberson's Pops. Thank y'all for not killing Hoop. See Amberson's Pops. And he wants to know, he wants to know Amberson's killer, right? He's like, we had a fragile relationship, started our relationship, but, Jen let him know, I've been working on some shit. We're doing intel. I'm not a cop, but you know what it is. Do you know who the Andreas family is? And the way he looked, I'm like, here we go. The way he looked at her, he already know. You know what I mean? Politicians with the lead drug dealer that used to be Popo, he already know. Then we see Henry in her warehouse shit. And she got her hair in front of a mirror. She got some clippers and shit. And we hear this church music and shit. And I'm like, some guitars. I'm like, okay. And we see her shaving her head bald. She had to make a sacrifice. I've been there before. Like when you trying to ask God for some type of favor and shit, you got to give up some. When I had my braids, I shut them off due to a family issue and shit, right? That was going through and trying to do what I needed to do. So had to give up something personal to God Allah. So I'm like, man, she on some Mad Max shit though, you know what I mean? But she shaved her head. However, her underarms was hairy. I'm like, hold up, fam. Like me personally, I don't like no hair on a woman, like underarms, legs, coochie. Like, I don't need the landing strip, none of that shit. I don't like none of that. Shave those motherfuckers, man. Lucille and Charles at the table, they still got the guitar playing with all the music, right? And the divorce papers on the table, they got to sign. Lucille looks at it, grabs it, signs it first. Charles signed it, and Nikki on the steps crying and shit. Man, that was an emotional scene because we've grew with the Flannerys from where they came up, struggling like a motherfucker, to T and Meech doing their thing and looking out a little bit. They still struggling, to Charles cheating, to we've been with the Flannerys. We love the Flannerys. We love the Flannerys, you know what I'm saying? Both people made mistakes. Charles, with their religious shit, stepped out, but, you know, you got to forgive like Jesus did. But Lucille, listening to her people, like, wanted a different life at that point in time. Shout out to the Flannerys. So we see Angel's back, right, with Meech at the crib, little short, little thick ass. She back with Meech at the crib, and Angel like, yo, I'm tired of Atlanta. I'm burnt out. I don't want to be here no more, and wants to leave Atlanta. And Meech like, man, yo, come on, man. You good at what you do. You making a whole bunch of money and all that shit. You know what I mean? Meech gets her mind right. Like, yo, you just need to ball out and do what you need to do still. He like, see, I mean, my brother wants some see it, touch it, obtain it type shit, right? So I feel Meech on that shit to a certain degree. But, you know, shit, she want to make her own way and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? If it's time to go, it's time to go. So we see T in the restaurant with Henry's old suppliers, and he wants them to tell Henry that we need to meet because we want to go back with you. We don't want to fuck with T. And they like, yo, we don't want to get in the middle of y'all shit. He's like, yeah, well, I'll just cut off y'all supply then. Real simple. I'll cut off y'all supply and the shit. So we know T been trying to make a play to set her up to kill her, but that's a basic ass play. Like, Henry would be smarter than that, T. I don't think that shit would work, to be honest with you. Charles walks in and lets T know him and Mom signed the papers. And Charles say he has nowhere to go. Charles, no, you know your son got you. You got a crib that Marquisha should be gone from now. But you don't want to fuck with me, go get your own crib. Then she should be gone. And then he got the apartment. So, Charles, we're going to get you straight. We see Henry and Jen chop it up at Henry's place where she at the warehouse or whatever, in her little office. And they talking to Jen like, yeah, you got to get revenge on your cousin's killer. You can't let that shit ride, baby, and all that shit, right? And then Blaze calls and tells Henry, yo, Detective Jen, she's a cop. She did this. She went to the councilman. She blew up everything we doing over here, man. I told you was going to end up fucking up all our shit, man. Kill that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So Henry like, yo, let's have some fun type shit, right? And Jen was like, with that business, she's like, no, this personal. So she started choking her and shit. Then she put two hands on her. Jen like, hold up, baby. And then Henry started talking that shit. And Jen gets out of the room like, bow, like, and did some police shit, like, bow, real quick, and got her up off her and shit. And then she got up out the room and shit. Henry started blasting at her and shit. Like, where was Henry's security at? Where the rest of the security at? She had other motherfuckers before. So this one time you just there with the chick, you ain't got no security? That was odd, but okay. So Brian heard everything, what was going on. No accident, yo. Some of that shit left out, yo. That's on me. Damn, that's fucked up. Playing with that mouse and shit, didn't know it was over there. Anyway, Bryant there, and Henry shooting at Jen, and Bryant pops Henry in the leg and shit. And Bryant asks if she told Amberson about the wire. Councilman Amberson, she's like, no. He's like, so we still in play then. We got our play still to fuck up the police department, get dog, get everybody. So I was wondering at the time, though, is he going to get Jen arrested and shit? Like, nah, he ain't going to get Jen arrested. So we got to see the bad scene. No. As soon as she signed them down papers, Lucille take her butt over to see Mr. Maurice, right? And I'm like, man, I can't watch this shit, man. This shit crazy. She just, she signed the papers, but she left the relationship a long time ago, right? That's what she's saying, right? So I'm like, no. So we see Meech is at JR's Chicken with the crew, and he let Sharp know, Claus got Sharp know, y'all got our vans with the work, but can't get into our shit. Y'all the Red Dogs, nobody can get into it but us. And he like, man, I need to know what I need to do so I can get down with y'all with BMF. And one of Remy's other guy was watching the play all along and shit from the other side, so Remy gonna know what Sharp doing. So we're going to let Sharp do what he do. We know Sharp going to take him to the shit. And Remy probably like in his mind, yo, we're going to blast all the motherfuckers. So we go back to the throw up in my mouth. Lucille and Reese in the bed. Lucille let Reese know God opened another door when he came into her life, and Reese there fidgeting like a motherfucker. He like, man, Lucille, I got to tell you something. Like, what the fuck dog done did? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, cuz, what dog done did? Because he over here. When I say he was tripping, he tripping like a motherfucker. What dog done did? So he let her know, I've been engaged for 2 years. I really don't want to be with her, though, but I wasn't expecting to meet you type shit. So, see, Lucille got what she deserved. You force your husband to get a divorce. You tell your husband you in love with another nigga. He just wanted to get some pussy, some new pussy. Some pussy he always wanted. And after he got it, it was a wrap. Oh, man, this shit ain't, okay, it's cool, but I ain't. He felt better about you before he got the pussy. He got the pussy and it's over. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. So Sharp takes the crew to their vehicles and shit and shows them the work that they can't get to, of course. And Sharp says he has a pipeline to Alabama and wants to unite the zones in Atlanta. Like, fuck Remy. Remy time is up. So Remy shows up. It's like 6 niggas. Hey, nigga, pussy ass nigga, Remy say. So they got a shootout, and Meech and the crew gets away. Now, here's my unbelievable moment of the show. No windows shot out. No tires shot out. So I guess they got the bitches bulletproof. We missed that part. Because all 4 of them vans wasn't supposed to make it. All them bullets was flying in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got hit. And none of that shit. So yeah, it is bulletproof like a motherfucker. We see when they get done, T calling Marquisha and Sterl checked them and shit about worrying about her. Like, man, we trying to meet with motherfucking Henry and you calling Marquisha. I ain't talked to her since Miami. Motherfucker, you ain't gonna talk with her because she done with you. They checked him about worrying about her. Thank you, Sterl. Sterl was reminding T, you ain't no killer nigga. And once you go down this road, B, once you go down this road, ain't no coming back. That killing shit is going to get addictive to him, right? He's trying to help T. But like, if we can handle this shit for you, you ain't got to be no killer. It ain't in you. Because we don't need no mistakes, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no mistake. So, Miss Thang Lucille now, feeling a little sexy, got some new dick, right? You know she don't feel good about it. Come downstairs with her shirt tied up at the bottom. I swear to God, dog, how y'all killed her character arc and shit and make her like loose on the loose, like Drake said. Some bullshit, man. And tells Charles things are not going to work out with her and Reese, man. You know what I'm saying? He respect his wife. You know, somebody else would be like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of my face. But the nerve. After one day, we get divorced, you go give the nigga some pussy, then you come back the next day and tell me it ain't gonna work out with you? Come on, B, come on. All right. After divorcing me for him, in my eyes, that's crazy than motherfucking. So Charles still wants and asks her, baby, just go on tour with me. Charles, all right. After dealing with all this, the only man I need in my life is my heavenly father. I just want to be your friend. What the fuck? Well, why are you telling me about the Nick? All right, B. We see Henry at the warehouse patching herself out. Blaze comes in with his brother, chastising her over everything she lost. Ever since she's been here, that was harsh. Ever since you've been here, shit been fucked up. I lost my wife. We losing family members over the moves you making. Said, I'm stripping you your organization. I told you to not sell dope. I had you set up to sell art and shit and do all this other shit. I told you don't sell dope. She pulls the burnout on her father and shit. Like, yo, her uncle like, yo, man, chill. She blasts one time like, nigga, I ain't playing with you. And he like, motherfucker, do what you got to do then. And she let that motherfucker up. Bow, 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 bow. Right? Shit, man. Killing her father. So RIP Blaze. So Jen hears the murder on the wire and calls for backup, right? So boys come in and grab Henry up while they wrapping up the body. Jen and Brian went there, walked in, and Jen was like, yeah, this is what it is, and this and that. And when you try to get out of parole, bitch, I'm gonna be there saying what a horrible person you are. And Brian told Henry, yeah, and I killed your cousin. Walked by her in a little suave, what was his name? Smooth, the detective Smooth nigga looked at him like, oh shit, okay then. I see you, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I see you. Sterling and T outside the whole situation because they was waiting on Henry to meet up with the cats or whatever was gonna happen. And ain't none of that popping. Ain't none of that popping. So they like shit. She get back, but T gotta make another play. He know that. But that shit is over. But T is pissed talking to Sterling like, man, I can't never make major boss moves. Shit be going on. Meech may be the better leader than me, and Sterling told him, just play in the background. I'll never see you coming, nigga. Be that silent assassin killer. That's your role. No doubt. Sterling's the man, yo. So Meech with Sharp, and his crew tells them the rules. Like they in Techwood. Like, we look out for each other, this is that, this is woo, this is what we gonna do. Remy comes in, po ass niggas up in my shit, and he pulls out on Meech in front of everybody. So everybody else pull out on him, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, nigga. His crew pull out on him. And he tells Remy, your time is done, B. Then his crew tells him, yeah, nigga, you can't come around here no more, dog. We done with you and your leadership. Remy calls Meech a pussy ass nigga and says, y'all ain't seen the last of me. Here we go. And he walks the fuck out, right? So then we see Remy driving down the road and he see like the skyline of Atlanta, like, damn, this my city. What the fuck am I gonna do? And somebody sell him a water and he give him mad bread, told him to keep the change. And someone comes straight out and blow his brains out, right? Revenge for Ty Washington, my nigga. R.I.P. Remy. So now we see Meech in the warehouse, right? So he brings in all the crews, Missouri, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio, and Georgia. He said Atlanta is the distribution hub, and Meech and T talk about all the moves going on. T let Meech know their parents are calling it quits and shit. So what's going on in Detroit, they got it under control. But mom and dad, who was our model for making everything right with our lives, calling it quits. So they still got to stay grounded and shit, you know what I'm saying? T look a little stressed over it. Meech wasn't tripping like that. We see Henry in the pen, right? And you know something was finna happen to her. Classic power scene. She in the line to get in the shower and shit. Motherfucker behind her. Chaka. Stabbed her up in her kidney. It's a wrap. So we see T.O. driver called to hit. She come and say something slick to her in her ear. You know what I mean? So that's why she was in the lead in the trailer. A reminder to T, we got to cut the head of the snake off. So R.I.P. Henry. They had to do what they had to do, man. So we got Henry gone, her daddy gone, Remy gone, nigga. They clear sailing right now, right? So Meech is at Ty's grave, giving him his word about his children and his wife he gonna take care of forever. And he did what he had to do. He gonna take care of his partners too. Love that scene. We see T at LaWanda's, and she let him know, I'm going to cosmetology school to do her thing. He's like, we're gonna take care of the kids. Like, T, I ain't waiting on you. I ain't doing this shit. Yeah, you got me now, but nigga, I got to be able to have some shit on my own. And I respected LaWanda for that shit, and T had to respect her too. And they going off to church and shit, right? So then we get there, Charles playing the guitar, the pastor talking and shit. And she talking about, we got a testimony today. We got Sister Lucille who's going to take the assistant pastor joint. And nigga, Lucille got up there, and Lucille is back. Amen. Amen. Sister Lucille is back. That's Lucille we want. That's Lucille we need in our life. We didn't like the other Lucille. Called me a hater. I didn't like that Lucille. I like the God-fearing Lucille that tried to keep the family balanced and everything was going on. Thank you, Lucille. She's back. So we see Meech at the club with Angel, right? And she said she's done dancing and going back home to open up an after-school joint for her girl. She's like, this is my last night. So Meech told her he's glad that she has her voice. She's doing her own moves, and she know where he's at whenever she's ready to come back and chill and visit and shit. Shout out to Angel. That means Angel gone from the show for right now, right? So we see T and the crew and Sterling, all them up at Hoop. Up at Hoop. Man, sometimes I listen to my production. Hoop. I'm lost a little bit, y'all. Man, this shit sound fly. Hoop is at the Man, damn, that shit dope. Damn, that's dope, y'all. Hoop at the hospital, and they all up there, and they bad as shit. They like, damn, and shit. And Sterling talking about, I already got her number, nigga, so it don't matter. They brought Hoop's calamari. That's what he liked to eat and shit. He's like, I ain't eating that shit, though. It was all good. We see Jen and Brian at thank you for not killing Hoop again. We see Jen and Brian. I'm playing that shit again. We see Jen and Brian. Oh, shit. We see Jen and Brian at Brian's crib and shit, celebrating their victory with everything with Henry and getting Jen's job back. So Jen got her badge and gun back. She said, I'm heading to LA. There's some Asian gangs out there that's acting crazy than the motherfucker. Brian said he heading south. So Jen like, you can't stop this white whale shit. You going to get me type shit. Brian like, I got to sell the crib and clean out Kevin's room and shit, and then I can do what I need to do. And she's like, yo, well, I had to help my parents clean out my sister's room. I can help you clean out Kevin's room. He's like, no, I got to take this one along by myself. So he had Bruiser character, which was his dad that Kevin created for him, and he put Kev's drawings on a t-shirt he was wearing and shit, man. So he made right by taking out the people that got Kevin killed to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? That was an emotional scene. You know what I mean, just dealing with all that stuff for everybody that lost a sibling, a parent, or a child. That self-transition, man, my hearts and prayers go out to all of y'all, for real. And he started seeing stuff and looking at Kevin's stuff, and he wasn't at peace. You can never be at peace with losing a child, but he was okay. He did okay, man. So I'm glad they made him look like he was doing okay. Now, I wonder if he's heading south, if he's done. Jen says she's going to L.A., so she's done like, yo, these motherfuckers are gone. I mean, we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, and if Brian gone, then possibly 5 main characters from this season is gone. Gone. But you know, with this shit, new levels, new devils, right, from each of them. Nikki cooked the dinner for Charles, but Charles ran in, yo, the bus is leaving early. I got to get up out of here. You sure you ain't going, Lucille? Okay, then, cool. And Nikki like, go, Dad, you got to do what you got to do. She like, yo, Lucille like, yo, man, Nikki made this good dinner. He like, baby, ain't nothing I can do. The bus leaving early, baby. I got to go, baby. And he was up out that motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Lucille is shook now. Yeah, nigga. Reese fucked you and got up. You could have went with Charles. You played yourself. Now you there, just you and Nikki. And, you know, Nikki showing strength for her mother. Yeah, for her and her mother. Said a great prayer. And now it's just them two, man. It's just them two. Dope, though. More bonding time for them. And Lucille need to get her shit together anyway. And she going to do what she want to do with her life. And that's amazing. Shout out to Lucille. T makes it down to Atlanta because he said he was coming to celebrate. And they were talking. And T was like, yo, at Meech's crib, Meech was like, man, I ain't coming to help you decorate, nigga. And Meech was like, yo, man, I'm just looking at this shit. What we need to take over. He's like, shit, we got a half a ton. T was like, we got a half a ton in 5 states of dope. We're good. Meech says, hell no, that's not enough. He said, I want a half a ton in each state. He's like, I want to take over the country. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, all right then. So they go to the club and we see Angela, the short, fine, thick ass on the stage, and they put Rip song in rotation. The booty song he had and shit, that was dope. And she dancing. Meech said, oh shit, there go Prime Time right there. And he said, send some bottles over there to Prime Time. And then Prime Time come over and shit. You know what Deion saying? And he said, I don't drink, but I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And it was dope as Shiloh, Deion's son, played Deion. That was dope. Prime gave them good advice about, you know, I stay out of the way. Football is my wife. Baseball is my mistress. Whatever. They both take care of me. But, you know, you can love the game. But the game doesn't love you. You can get replaced. You get caught up in this shit. So don't get so involved with that shit that you lose yourself. Inviting him to Prime 21 Club. That right there, you can love the game, but the game doesn't love you. That's it. That's it. That's it for that dope dealing shit. So we see Javier showing up and says Loco is locked up and he needs Meech's help. T's like, nah, B, you can't go to Mexico. Meech is like, he's family. And if I don't help him, my whole organization goes down the drain. We got to go. So then it says on the screen, Mexico. Like no different part of Mexico, just Mexico. And these niggas got the clothes on from the club. So they got from Georgia. So they had to fly out from Georgia. They got the personal pilot, right? Fly from Georgia to wherever, probably to Texas or Arizona or New Mexico, however the fuck they was going. And they in Mexico, walking down the dirt road, trying to figure out how to find Loco to break him out of a Mexican jail. Yo, is that it? That's it, right? That's it. So there's nothing more to say about that shit. The Mexican, they're going down to break Loco out of Mexican jail. We got to wait till next season to see how that shit go. All right, y'all. Oh, shit. Following season predictions, I'm sorry, yo. Of course they get Loco out. Of course. Or either something happens to Loco and they meet Loco's plug. One of the two happens, right? We know that. we know that with Henry dead, with Remy dead now, a new enemy is going to arise in one of their other states, right? So overall, it was a decent season in like that 3, 4, 5-ish area. It had lost its way a little bit, then it came back and shit. It had its moments, but I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with what they gave us this year. But man, they just got to tighten it up a little bit. More of the BMF shit. Everybody waiting for the real shit, the party and shit, right? But they don't understand the underlying story of the dope dealing shit and how they got to that party and shit. We got to see that, and that's what they want you to see. So. I want to say thank you to all of y'all that took the time to listen, to watch. Thank you for making this the most watched show on my network. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for all the support, all the views. Thank you for all the streams and the downloads. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I can't wait till next season. But until then, it's on to The Shy for me, which is another pod coming tonight. So if you're a fan of The Shy, check me out tomorrow. That would be up. I got to get my ass back to work. But, you know what I'm saying? I had to make sure I come home and do this shit like we always do. Shout out to 50. Shout out to the writers, the other EPs, the showrunners, the directors, the producers, the Big Tank that do the music. Shout out to him for giving us some dope-ass new boom bap shit that sound like it was made in the early 90s. Shout out to that. Shout out to all the actors in the show. Appreciate y'all. Man, much love, man. You already know. Until next season, man, you already know. Get your confidence together. Get your clutch together. Listen to and follow the network on various platforms, confidenceintheclutch.podbean.com, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Search Confidence in the Clutch. Follow, share, rate, and review. It's important. Follow us on X and Instagram at K&K. Visit us on Facebook at Confidence in the Clutch. Until next season, y'all know what to do, but you know how I do this. Me, myself, man, every week during the BMF Reverberation, BMF season, the BMF Reverberation podcast is coming to you, man. This is a Confidence in the Clutch podcast about the acclaimed TV series BMF. I'm Donald Nelson, D-Nell, Dizzle, Deezy, Deezos, DZD, Deezos, Don P, Don D, Little D, Don Real Digger. Have a safe and healthy night. Have a safe and healthy summer. I think we'll be getting back together when? About February, March of next year? Yo, have a safe and happy summer. All your holidays, birthdays, take care of yourself. This series dealt a lot with mental health. Check on your mental health. Check on the mental health of your loved ones. Remember, pain is temporary. Suicide isn't. Shout out to R.I.P. to Kev on the show. That was hard for us to watch, but man, the message is there. Be there for your kids, man. Have a safe and healthy night. If you listen during the daytime, credit grade day on purpose. Yeah, we about this bitch. BMF, yo. Peace. 3, 2, 1. Confidence on 3, in the clutch on 6. 1, 2, 3.
Confidence.
4, 5, 6.
In the clutch.
Confidence in the clutch.